like a lot of questions we usually get requesting okay, what is I'm applying as a Scrum Master, but unfortunately, I'm not getting calls. So what I thought is, okay, let me invite some experts in the field who can actually help us understand what is the Scrum Master role, what is the expectation from the Scrum Master role, and all. So today I have invited Danesh and Jitendra. Both are agile coaches, agile practice leads in the organizations, and I have invited Rajesh also. Rajesh, can you come to the speaker panel, please? Just raise your hand. Thank you, Rajesh. Okay, so I have invited Rajesh also. He is also an agile coach. So we will have some discussions basically on the agile coach, the expectation of the Scrum Masters and all. Okay. So before that, just giving an introduction of the Canadian IT Club. Canada IT Club is a kind of a online community where we try to build our professional relationships in Canada and share informations. We have virtual meetings, virtual sessions every week, most of the weeks. Last year we had around 60 plus sessions, and this year this is a sixth session. It's been Feb, right? It's been 45 days. We are having the sixth session for this year. So we will get started, but before that, I'll let Danesh, Jitendra, and Rajesh give a quick intro about themselves. Danesh.
Hey, thank you, Sudhir. Yeah, happy to be part of the community and glad to be associated with Canada IT Club. Quick 1 minute summary about myself. So, I've been doing this agile world and part of the agility for last couple of decades. Been in Canada for a decade and a half, and been in North America for the same time, and happy to be supporting people who are basically on their journey in the agility world, not just like coming to Canada, but in general in agility world, and trying to up skill and making sure that they are ready to be jump into the job market. So just trying to help support the people in their journey of agility.
Thank you, Danesh. So let's move to Jitendra. Jitendra, just a quick intro.
Yep. So hi, this is Jitendra Wadhwani. I'm currently working as a senior agile coach with TD Bank. I've been into agile for more than 12 years, more than 23 years into the IT industry now. And I've worked in various geographies: UK, Australia, India, US, and now in Canada. So I have a bit of exposure on how different geographies work. And I've been through all the rails. I've been through the development and all the roles. So I know I have a context of what different challenges the team face. So I try to use that into my current role and see how I can help the teams grow. That's it.
Thank you, Jitendra. Rajesh.
Hello everyone. Good evening. Happy Valentine's Day. My name is Rajesh Pakan. I work as an agile coach with TD Bank. Similar to Danesh and Jitendra, like I have what do you call it? A decade experience with agility and worked in multiple geographies as well. I started my career as a developer in a consulting firm. So in consulting firm, what happens is you wear different hats, so you kind of know in and outs of various what do you call job roles, right? So but for the last 10 years, I've been working primarily on the Canadian banking industry and on the agile space. And I'm like happy for having me here. And I'm looking forward to support anyone, building their career, coaching, pro bono coaching, resume critic, and things like that. Yeah, that's about me.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajesh.
Awesome. Rajesh, you got 80 Valentines today.
Yeah. So let me set there some expectations. So first thing is, today's is mainly the format is going to be the Q&A session. It's not going to be something like we four are discussing. It's open for everyone. Everyone can come and ask the questions about Scrum Masters or anything related to agile or job search related to the Scrum Master jobs. Second thing is, whatever we are sharing in this session, it's purely for informational purposes. We are not representing our companies, or we are not sharing anything related to immigration or anything. So whatever we are sharing here, it's from the experience and just our thought process. So since I organized this session, I'll start the first question and I'll leave the floor open, and people can come in and start asking the questions. So
Hey,
first,
Sudhir,
yeah, Danesh.
hey, sorry, I just want to build upon your disclaimer that we neither are recruiters nor hiring managers. Our intent is to support the community to upskill. So just wanted to make sure that we are level setting the expectations out here.
Thank you, Danesh. Thank you for adding it. Okay, so I'll start with the first question. So a lot of people, right? A lot of people, they just take the CSM certification and they think that I'm a Scrum Master and I'm ready to join as a Scrum Master. So first question to Danesh, you is that what is the expectation from a Scrum Master, from your perspective, from your vast experience? What is a agile coach, or what is the team expecting from a Scrum Master?
Well, that's a very loaded question, Sudhir. You have actually asked me multiple question in one question.
Yep, I know.
I will try to basically first decompose it. So, see, I think you started with the question with somebody who's coming with the just fresh with the certification. So let me
Yep.
answer that puzzle first. Yes, certification is something which is like necessity or and like devil you have to deal with, because all of the positions you will see, and I'm pretty sure 99% of the position that is available in the job market will ask for your Scrum certification. It does not matter whether it is CSM, SSM, or PSM or something else, but they will certainly look for some certification. So this has become a necessary evil in addition to your skill sets. However, this may get you to the door of that position, but does not really open the door for you or let you become a Scrum Master unless you can back your certification with the real life skills. If you can really back it up with how you have dealt with the challenges that you face as a Scrum Master, because a Scrum Master role is, while it is called a servant leader, but it is basically one of the most challenging roles in the industry and one of the most misunderstood as well. Because a lot of the organizations try to sometimes do it as a part-time role, and then they later on realize that they were making a mistake, and they ultimately go back to converting those part-time roles to a full-time role for a Scrum Master, because this is certainly not a part-time role. This certainly requires someone to have the skill sets and authority to let the team drive towards the right path of agility. A Scrum Master is also a team coach. They basically are agile coaches for their teams. They teach the agile practices and behaviors to the team. They are basically the custodians of agile practices for the team. So suddenly certification helps, but not to the extent that you will land a job and will be able to perform it without backing up with the real experience. So that's how I will sum it up, Sudhir.
Thank you. Thanks. Rajesh, what is your thought about this? What is the expectation from a Scrum Master when that position gets open, or when you're trying to hire some Scrum Masters in your team? What do you think? What should be their experience or skill sets?
Yeah, sure. Like similar to what Dinesh mentioned, certification, yes, it is it is key. Why? Because by having certification, what you're telling is that you are invested, right? You are serious about your profession and the role which you want to do. So certification definitely is a basic necessity, but again, just by having few certificates will not cut it, right? So What we look for is like if you read about like say what are the like Scrum Master skills, you will see like what do you call facilitation, servant leadership, all those things will be there. But really, a Scrum Master's role, I would say, is kind of a political tightrope walk, right? What that means is what you learn from your certification and what the industry preaches is slightly different from your actual role that you perform in an organization, right? So what actually someone would be really looking for is how a person can translate the process knowledge that they have to uh, in the context of the team's dynamics and within the organizational structure, right? So it is what do you call understanding your current team's situation and how you help them move the needle, right? So for that, you need to have a good understanding of the process and the Agile, Scrum, and various frameworks. And at the same time, you should be also flexible enough to what do you call understands the team needs and what do you call act accordingly, right? I'll give you a simple example. Like I've seen in various organizations, they won't in the interview they won't be asking any theoretical questions at all. They will be asking practical scenarios, like given such a situation, how will you deal with it, right? And I've also seen where like well onboarding Scrum Masters in part of the interview process is after a just a, telephonic interview, they will invite the potential candidate to come and meet the team and facilitate a ceremony, right? Like say facilitate a retrospectives or facilitate a daily stand-up. And so because Scrum Master role is like primarily what do you call it's an art, and it is more of a relationship building influencing role, right? So those are the soft skills that we'll be looking for.
Thank you, Rajesh. So now I'll leave the floor open. So we'll start with Gaurav. Gaurav.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So I would firstly congratulate Sudhir for organizing uh, such a seminar or such a session which could be helpful to everyone. So thanks, Sudhir. I am in a slightly tricky scenario. So I'm in Toronto for last 1 year, and I'm having total of 14 years of ID experience with 6 years of experience into Scrum and Agile. I am CSM, PMP, SAFE certified professional. Worked with quite a few giants like McDonald's, Reader Digest, TELUS. Now I'm almost working or worked with a company called Dealer FX, which is in Markham. So I'm on a closed work permit right now, and the contract of my organization with the client is set to over in next 1 month or so, and I am trying to look for a job. So it so happened that I am getting calls. I mean, I am getting RTR emails, and recruiters are contacting me. But as if they get to know that I'm on a closed work permit, they tend to set back because they're not.
Gaurav, sorry to cut you off. This is not a immigration session, unfortunately.
No, no, no. It's not about immigration.
Okay.
Sudhir, I was just coming to the point that I was just setting the context that because I'm on a closed work permit, so job hunt is getting difficult because in US there is a culture of cop to cop, but I've not seen that in Canada as such, where job hunt could be feasible in this scenario where someone is on a closed work permit. So I'm looking for a Scrum Master job and getting stuck just because of my
So,
this issue.
so sorry to interject, Gaurav here, but concept of closed work permit is similar in US or Canada. If you are on a L1 in
Yeah.
US
Hmm.
or a work permit here, it's no different in either of the markets. Both markets are the same. So if you are being sponsored by your employer for a work permit in Canada, or if you are sponsored by your employer for a L1 work permit in US, you are stuck with that employer
Hmm.
for the duration of your employment, and beyond that you will have to have an active immigration status. And that's where Sudhir said we are not consulting on immigration in this call.
Okay, so I think this is a wrong forum to ask that question. We understand that, but closed work permit, you have to understand that the closed work permit, nobody can hire until you are supposed to work for your employer. So
Hmm.
unfortunately, we'll not be able to answer that particular question here. Okay,
Sure, no worries. Thanks,
sorry, Gaurav.
guys.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Let's move on to Guru Raj.
Hi Sudhir and everyone. Thanks for arranging this session. So I have a quick question on this. Currently I got kind of a CSM certification, but PMP is not done. Is it necessary to? I'm currently working with one employer, but I'm currently working in the role that on the data analysis, on the Scrum and other project management activities. But my question is it necessary to have a PMP certificate along with other Scrum certifications to get a call or get into the job or get it shortlisted? So I'm just looking for an advice whether PMP certificate will add a more weightage, but is it necessary to go for it, or all the Scrum certificate will eventually help to land into a job?
So Jitendra, what's your take on this?
My short answer is no, but I'll elaborate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so basically, in the olden days, yeah, a lot of people were jumping the ship, right, from PMP to CSM
Yeah.
to the Scrum Master role. So it was common that you see both the certification on a profile.
Okay.
But in my experience, they actually might confuse you both the things. Okay.
Hmm.
If you have already have PMP, don't worry about it. But if you have never done PMP before and you're just doing it for the sake of getting the job, I will say not required, because they are totally different mindsets. PM was more about command and control. The whole waterfall methodology was you are supposed to do these 10 things. You had a lot
Yeah.
of command and authority, right? And it was about sticking to the plan and reaching the correct deadline on a correct estimate. While Scrum is totally different. Scrum is about being a servant leader, helping teams. You are not in command, you are not making decisions, you're just
Yeah.
helping others. So those are totally different methodologies, right?
Okay.
Um, I don't know, is that helping you
Yeah.
or?
So yeah, that pretty much helped Jitendra. So basically, the takeaway I would get it from you is that since I have a PSM and other Scrum certificate, so it's not necessary to go for a PMP essentially, but these Scrum certificate eventually help me to switch my job, isn't it?
Right. So if you're getting into agile related job, they will definitely look for something related to Scrum, Agile, Kanban, those kind of certificates. They would not ask for PMP certificates. Not at least not now. In the olden days, I have noticed some companies used to do it, but now I'm not seeing much of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to add to what Jitendra said, I wouldn't want to categorize it, but I would say it's a red flag if a company is asking for a PMP and Scrum certification in the same job description. That is a red flag because company is still transitioning itself from traditional way of iron triangle as it is called in PMP to a more liberated Scrum or Agile world, and they are looking for someone to be there for their iron triangle, which you don't want to be, because what your mindset is and what you have been trained on is an open mindset where you are going to support the team, you are supporting them in terms of their evolution from directed by someone to making their decisions on their own. As Jitendra mentioned, these are two completely different paradigm, different mindset. You certainly don't want to either confuse yourself nor your
Okay.
employer.
Perfect. Okay.
Thank
Thanks, Dinesh, and
yeah.
thanks for your help. That
Thank you,
helps.
Danesh. Thanks, Jendra. So that everyone who is asking to speak, just know that I have a limit of 12 speakers at a time. So as and when the speakers ask the question and they move to the audience, I'll promote you as a speaker. So just hold tight. So let's move on to Durga. Durga.
Thank you, Sudhir. Thank you so much for hosting this session. I'm sure like it's answering a lot of questions that I had. So one question I had was, should a Scrum Master be technical? If yes, how technical should they be?
Oh, I'll let Rajesh answer that. Rajesh.
Sure. Yeah. So having a technical background for a Scrum Master definitely helps. Okay, no doubt about it. Like say if you are a Scrum Master for say a cloud migration project, and if you have Microsoft Azure knowledge, that definitely helps. But not necessarily you need to be a technical person, or that is not a mandatory, right?
Okay.
But if you have technical knowledge, that really helps.
I have
Thank
one
you.
more question, Sudhir. Quick
Sure,
Yeah,
question.
sure.
so just to simplify what Rajesh said, I will state it this way. It is important to have understanding of technical jargons and understanding of the landscape you are operating in, but by no means you need to be a technical expert in any of the technical areas you are going to be dealing with.
Okay. Okay, and one more question I had was I'm reading the Scrum guide and I'm like going through the Scrum framework. So, is it also necessary to learn SAFe and other frameworks in addition to Scrum to land a Scrum Master job?
Of course, if you have knowledge of like Kanban and the Scaled Agile framework, these three are the most popular ones: Scrum, Kanban, and Scaled Agile. That really helps. Why? Because in certain cases, what may happen is you may be onboarded as a Scrum Master, but when you on the job, when you look at it, probably what the team really needs is to be Kanban, right? So that is where like having, sorry, I'm getting some background noise. Yeah, so that is where if you know these other frameworks, you will be able to coach the teams accordingly.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Rajesh. Yeah, Jitendra, go ahead.
I wanted to add a bit about the differentiation between them. So, main difference being where you need the whole SAFe framework is where you have a big organization and you're working with a lot of teams and you have to coordinate with a lot of teams. So Scrum framework, when it was introduced, they didn't give too much thought about how it's going to integrate into a big organization. So just telling you more information, and because that will determine which company you're going it for, right? So if you're going for a very big organization with multiple teams and hundreds of people working agile, SAFe will definitely help you. But SAFe is not the only certification. So it's like a step up, but your CSM will build the foundation for you. What's the Scrum basics and what's the Scrum methodology is all about.
Thank you. Thanks, Jitendra. Durga, we believe it answered your question. So moving on, Danesh.
Yes, Sudhir.
Yeah, thank you. So Danesh, a lot of people who reaches out to me, right? They think that facilitation is the only thing which a Scrum Master does. Can you just give some idea about what all things Scrum Masters are doing other than the facilitation? Because a lot of people knows how to facilitate the ceremonies. They are aware about these 5 ceremonies, but unfortunately, a lot of people doesn't even know um, what other than this facilitation is done by Scrum Master. Can you just give us a insight about it?
Yeah, so yeah, that is when I was talking earlier about misconception about a Scrum Master role. That is basically the misconception that a Scrum Master is a facilitator. No, a Scrum Master is not a facilitator. Yes, he does facilitation for certain parts of the things, but that is probably maybe 20% of his whole day in a life of a Scrum Master, because suddenly facilitation is there and Scrum Master does facilitation and it is an essential part of the job. But job of a Scrum Master goes much more beyond facilitation. So facilitation is done in certain ceremonies, specifically around your planning sessions and your, to an extent, in your retrospective. Other than that, Scrum Master is not a facilitator. For example, your daily Scrum or stand up as it is popularly known, Scrum Master is, I will bold, italic, underline, not a facilitator. They are simply taking a back seat there and leading it from the back, and or it is just called like leading from the back of the room, right? That's what the Scrum Master role in daily Scrum, because that is not for the Scrum Master either to facilitate or do anything with this. This is for the team's meeting, and team has to do it. What Scrum Master's role is to help the team understand the differentiation between where it requires his help to facilitate and where team has to self-organize and self-manage themselves. Similarly, the refinement sessions, again, a misconception is Scrum Master has to facilitate. No, it's the product owner's job to facilitate that session. Scrum Master is just there to protect the team. Now, you might be wondering, what does it mean to protect the team? So, to protect the team from unwarranted changes, unwarranted influences, external influences, as well as influence from Scrum Master. So, Scrum Master acts as a shield for the team, and he's not here facilitator. He is basically protecting the team from external influence, from adding unnecessary scope to the sprint or unnecessary scope into the backlog which has not been discussed. If we are working in a scaled environment, we will know what features or what are, like, we can get into, I can talk on length on this and I can probably spend the whole hour talking about this, Sudhir, but in essence, no. Scrum Master's job is much more beyond facilitator. He is protector for the team. He is impediment resolution facilitator, not the resolution provider. He will bring along the teams or bring along the stakeholders who are going to provide the resolution. That's what he does. He's going to coach and mentor the team to become more self-organized, self-managed team, and suddenly he will also do some facilitation. He is going to be there to hold team accountable, hold stakeholders accountable, to do the continuous improvement items, to do elevation of their practices, elevation of agile maturity, having understanding of the agile matrices that needs to be followed, and making sure team understand how they are going to impact those levers to bring in more agility in the organization. So Scrum Master role is a very well rounded job where facilitation is probably just 20% of it.
Thank you, Danesh. Rajesh, Jitendra, you want to add something? Yeah, Rajesh.
Sure, probably. Yeah, I can add on top of it. So, like whatever Dennis said, like I absolutely second that. And on top of it, probably I'll package it slightly differently. Like I would say that Scrum Master's role is building a high performance team that self organizes, right? So like maybe like building a high performance team maybe looks like a fancy word, but like how would you build a high performance team, right? So like building a high performance team, the first thing is like team ensure that there is a team bonding or a team building, good collaboration, right? And promote like healthy team dynamics, and also like foster, or what do you call it, the psychological safety of those teams. These are the things that Scrum Master should more focus on, and these are the things that doesn't like these are the things that you cannot what do you call um, like it is not like visible outside, right? You cannot quantify them, but it is more of like again, as I told earlier, Scrum Mastering is an art. The more you practice, the more you perfect it, right? So it will come over the time, but like it is more of like ensuring the team collaboration is there, team the psychological safety is there, the team within themselves, they should be able to trust each other, right? That is one of the key part. And also the other thing is like as many of you mentioned that people think that, I'm just facilitating these 5 ceremonies, so that's my my job is done. No, more than that, you'll have to dig deep into what like the metrics and take a look at like how the team is performing. Like if you're using any tools like Jira or anything, dig deep into it. Look on like the cycle time, lead time, on those kind of things. You'll have to dig deep into it and figure out where there is bottleneck and ask those right questions so that the team thinks about it and improves upon them.
Thank you, Rajan. Sorry,
Absolutely,
Rajesh.
Rajesh. I would say it's about creating the teaching and learning environment for the team that enables all of that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
those nitty gritties are really good to understand, and Rajesh has pointed it out, folks. So,
Yeah.
I would say teaching and learning and creating that environment there is going to be the essential part of the Scrum Master role.
Thank you. So let's move on to the next person, Ashish.
Hi Sudhir, thank you for this platform. And Jitendra and Rajesh, you've answered a couple of my questions already. My story, in short, is I'm an institutional investment consultant. So I'm pivoting right now towards agile or BA side in capital markets. So what are things you suggest me to do for this pivot? What are things which you suggest me to do?
Jitendra, do you want to take it?
Sure. So, is it? Do you already see agile being adopted in your organization, or you want to step out and go into open market? And
I've got laid off in December.
oh,
December
sorry.
31st was my last working day, though I did my PMP certification after it and a PBA as well. So I did these two certifications. There are a lot of transferable skills which I have.
Yeah.
So how means what do you suggest me? How should I like go ahead with my journey or transition from investment consulting to agile, Scrum, or
Yeah.
business
A lot of
analyst?
people are asking the same question, right? So how can I get into the agile world? How can I become a scrum master? What is the career path for a scrum master if I am in a different role?
Yeah. So what I feel is, so definitely when you're new to the field, people are going to question your experience, right? Whether you have really worked in an agile team before and whether you have
Mhm.
had any experience with agile teams, because that matters a lot.
Right.
Um, even if you, so you can do the certifications. Sorry, is somebody trying to say something or just a feedback? Okay. So even if you do the certification, that will be a given, right? Everybody would expect you, if you are applying for a Scrum Master job, that you have some kind of background. But what will also help is you need some kind of experience to work in agile teams, because Scrum Master, like based on the previous discussion, you must have sensed that it is a pretty important role.
Mhm.
So if you have never had agile experience, then there'll be some reluctance to give you directly the Scrum Master role, especially in big orgs.
Mhm.
So you can try. So definitely you can try in smaller organizations because you're brand new, and maybe step up from there, do the certifications, but also try to see wherever you go next. Try to work in an agile team. Even if you are not a scrum master, working in an agile team will help you a lot, because you will understand the context of things and you will understand how those principles are getting applied. That is the most important piece you need. And also, I think Rajesh mentioned it earlier, that even in the interview they won't ask you theoretical questions, they will ask you scenario based questions, and that comes with experience.
Okay.
Then thank you.
Probably I can add a little bit more. Like,
Sure.
so if you're looking for a career path, first thing I would say is do the certification first. Why? Because that will give you the process knowledge and the framework knowledge, right? That is first step. Next step is, if you are able to organically move to that role within your organization, which is great. But if you don't, like, that option is not there, then what I would suggest is there are a couple of mentoring programs for Scrum Masters, which I'll post it here in the I'm not sure whether the chat is live here or not, but it is called like at like Toronto, like Agile TO mentorship program, which is run by Joanne Stone. She has been running this program for about like 3 or 4 years. So there, like like you will meet your fellow Scrum Masters, and you'll be part of a community that'll help you gain more knowledge, right? And probably then the next step would be like if you're looking for targeting some big organizations, as Jitendra rightly mentioned, they will look for prior experience, solid experience, if you're applying for Scrum Master role. So probably the best bet would be to work with some consulting firms. When I mention consulting firms, a few examples would be like Deloitte, CGI, like these kind of consulting firms. Why? Because in consulting firms, like your skill sets are transferable, right? And there is a scope to wear multiple hats and play like different roles. So you may be hired for like the transferable skills as well. Hope this answers the question.
Okay, okay. So another question which I have for Rajesh is so consulting firm, because I was working in Mercer Consulting. So how can I have transferable skills? So how can I like pivot or how can I go ahead with my journey even if I'm in a consulting firm?
So yeah, you'll have to look for those opportunities where like those roles are available, or within your organization if there is an in-house project, right, which you can run it in either Scrum framework, or use Scrum or Kanban to run it, right? So it's basically you're gaining experience within your organization in like using your in-house projects. That is a possibility to in any work you do. You can apply your agility to get it done.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashish.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rajesh. Let's move to Shridma.
Hi, Sudhir. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Shradhima. First of all, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sudhir, and everyone for this session, for giving us an open platform. Much needed. I have 6.5 years of experience working as a Scrum Master. I came here almost 8 months ago and still looking for an opportunity. Actually, most recruiters are asking for Canadian experience. Where can I get that? Would a course from Canadian University help, or how can I actually take care of that part? And another question,
Yeah.
just let me, yeah. So another question that I had is they're also asking for some technical skills. So what kind of technical skills are expected from a Scrum Master? Because I've seen job posting like, SAP Scrum Master or ETL Scrum Master. So what kind of technical skills are expected?
Okay, so maybe we'll ask Danesh. Danesh, 2 questions.
Yes, and I think these are really good questions to be asked in the Canadian context, and as well as from the job seekers' perspective, Siddhama. So let me take your second question first. How technical you need to be? I think we were having a similar conversation few minutes back, where I pointed out that you need to have a technical appreciation of the landscape you are going to be working in, but by no stretch of imagination you are expected to be an expert in that area. However, when I say that technical appreciation, it is the language being spoken to, the jargons being used in that landscape are going to be important to know. So, for example, if I recall, Rajesh pointed out about the cloud migration or something, right? So, if you don't understand what cloud migration means, what happens in the cloud migration, probably you will also feel left out from the team, and team will feel like you are being imposed or being an imposter to the team. So that is where it is really really important to have an understanding of the technical landscape, but you are not supposed to be coding or doing anything from that perspective. So that's where the I would draw the line, that you don't need to do anything technically from the coding or anything else perspective, but you certainly need to understand what is being spoken by the team and what are they doing. That kind of understanding has to be there. So that is for your second question in terms of how technical a scrum master needs to be. For your first question, Canadian experience, yeah, that's a like classic example of having a barrier in terms of reaching into the market, and that is where the programs like as Rajesh mentioned, mentorship programs that are there certainly helps you get into the network that is there in the Canadian market, that helps you build your network with different people, and some of them could be actually be the hiring managers. But as I pointed out in the beginning itself, this session is not about any recruiting or hiring, it's just about supporting the community and helping them scale up. But certainly there are different mentorship programs, different elevation programs, different boot camps that are available in the market, and you can join them, work with them, be part of the community, and they help you break into that uh, I would say get over the hump of Canadian skill or Canadian experience. Because once somebody with a Canadian experience endorses you to be good fit for a Canadian market, you actually break that ceiling and get into the market as a Canadian experience, because somebody who is there, been in the market, is endorsing you to be the right person to come in and start performing. Hope that
And
answers your. Yeah.
would a course from a Canadian university help, like any credentials that Canadian university can add to my profile? Would that help me get a job as a Scrum Master?
Well, honestly, I'm not aware of any Canadian university running a course in Scrum Master, honestly. But there are certainly a lot of organizations, and I know, as Rajesh mentioned about Join, there is another person who is running those mentorship programs. There are from even from Agile coaches community, we have some programs that are running in. We have coaching retreats programs that we do. There is an annual coaching retreat program that's a 2 day or 3 day offsite programs we have. So certainly those certainly help, Sridhama. I'm not aware personally. I'm probably, if I'm not aware, maybe somebody else on the call is, if there is any program specific to the Scrum Master or something. I know there are universities having programs in the project management, and they are trying to get into some agile way of working also, like Conestoga is coming up with the agile 101 kind of a program and all. But there are no Scrum Master specific programs available from any university to my knowledge.
Rajesh, you want to add something? You were on muting. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Shradima, the bottom line, what I would say is don't spend too much money. Like when I say too much money, like in thousand, like 2,000, 3,000, or $4,000 for any course or anything. The reason I'm saying is why, because you without spending that much money, you still can gain that knowledge by reaching out to the community. And there are a lot of agile meetup groups happening in Toronto, right? You can find them online. I think connecting through the community, that'll give you more insights than learning, going to a college and learning through a course.
That is true. Maybe I can add something here. Networking, professional networking, building a professional network in Canada is very much important. A professional network doesn't mean that just connect someone in LinkedIn and ask for the job. Please, please, please do not connect strangers. The moment they accept the connection request, send out your resume, ask for the job. Do not do it. It is considered offensive here. Nobody will respond to those chats. Please do not reach out to strangers and ask for a job. They may not have it. If somebody has posted that okay, they have an opportunity and send email the resume, please email them. But connecting to strangers in LinkedIn and asking for a job might not work out for you in a long run, or even in the short run. Second thing is, as Rajesh said, we have numerous agile meetups, agile groups here in Canada. You have to build a professional network. It is not only for your first job. In the long run, it will actually help, right? So even if you get laid off, or even if you want to switch organization, even if your contract is getting terminated, you need a big professional network in Canada in a long run, to ensure or to build your career. Okay, so a lot of people, what they do is, the moment they get the first job, they will just break all the relationships and they will run away from all the networking events, and then they will start searching for the network only when they start searching for the next job. Please do not do it. Keep your connections live, which is very, very, very important here in Canada. We have had multiple sessions on how to keep the connections live, but that is just my 2 cents. Okay, so let's move on to Devika. Devika.
Hi, thanks Sudhir, for giving me an opportunity now, and thanks again for hosting this event. Thank you all the experts, for giving their so nice recommendations and expert advice. On the lines of what Sridhima asked, I have most of the similar questions. Just to add, somebody who has a Scrum Master experience in the Northern American market, maybe not in Canada, but in the US market. As you've rightly said, probably building the professional network is something that we need to work on. Apart from that, I just have one question that, what are the key differentiator that as a recruiter or companies look in Scrum Masters, apart from, maybe 3 years or 4 year experience that we all have working in agile teams?
Let's ask Jitendra about it. Jitendra.
So I think, Devika, you have good experience, and North American experience is pretty relevant to Canadian market, right? So I think you have a strong point there. Like Sudhir said, your network would help you a lot to get through the doors. Um, what the companies are really looking for, they're looking for some background in agile. I think you have enough background in agile, so
Okay.
that's not an issue. The other thing they will look for is, obviously, in interview they will ask you some scenario questions to see how you have tackled difficult situations, and also try to match your experience with their organization profile, right? So if they have a setup, depending upon where they are in the agile journey, whether they are just starting, or they've started few years ago, or they consider them pretty much all through and through agile now, they will try to find a cultural match for themselves. So those will be the factors when they evaluate you, and the references will help you to get shortlisted. But I think experience-wise, don't lose confidence. I think you have good background in the field.
Thank you, Jitendra, for answering. And on top of it, do you think since Scrum Masters work on various different domains, when in the openings we see, I'm personally seeing that they need like 5 years of domain experience in banking or insurance per se. So how do we showcase that? And probably is that a negative pointer being seen in the resume as like a first shortlisting point?
Jitendra, you had to unmute. Sorry.
There is some factor. So when I was saying cultural match, yes, there is also a factor of the experience matching as well. And bankings are a bit. I've heard this a lot about banking sector, especially that they try to pick candidates who have a banking background, right? So and you can't help it, man. Like, somebody has to give you the first chance. So that's where your the other tip which Rajesh suggested a while ago, that getting it through a consulting might help you to get into the doors of a particular industry if you are interested in banking or insurance, right?
Okay.
The other thing is, they definitely look for domain experience, because like Danesh explained, you need to have some background of the technologies being used to be effective in the teams. Otherwise, what will happen is, team will say, oh, this person is just sitting there and he's just telling us those plain agile rules, but he or she is not really helping us. So that will be the biggest challenge. So even where the team I am working with right now, they do ask for a lot of technological experience for Scrum Masters. So that you can easily overcome, because if you are interested in a particular technology, you can always learn about that technology, get some basic certifications in that technology. But getting into a domain, that requires you to actually do a job in that domain, whether it's directly or through consulting or through a smaller company first and then moving to bigger one.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jitendra. Thank you, Devika. Let's move on to Ravi. Hey, Ravi. Ravi, are you there?
Yeah. Hello,
Yeah.
Sudhir. Good evening, all. So my very basic question is like how a Scrum Master starts his day and closes his day every day. So, so if you say that you are a motivator, so motivation pills becomes preaches every day, right? You cannot have a motivational lines every day to the team. So, just I wanted to understand how you engage yourself throughout the day every day.
Rajesh, you want to take it?
Sure, yeah, I'll take it. So it's a great question. So, like for a Scrum Master, your day starts with most likely it'll start with your daily stand up, right? Not necessarily, but most likely, we have the stand ups, first thing in the day. Like, so in that, you kind of will get the sense of the team, right? Like what they are working on, if there is any blockers, impediments that they talk about. So based on that, if there is any active issues or items that the team is looking for help, you can help them resolve that. You don't need to resolve it on your own, but you can be a facilitator in resolving that, right? And also what you can do is, and you rightly said, like preaching or motivation, that only helps a little bit, but that does not like help in the long run, right? What really helps is how you engage with the team, how you understand the team's problem, and how you help them in resolving that, right? You may not be able to resolve it, but you can find someone who can resolve it for the team, right? And also the other thing, as I mentioned earlier, like look at their backlog, look at their current work in progress, like how many tickets they are, like how many stories they are working, right? And look for patterns where you can improve that, right? Like a simple example would be, you just do a Jira query, and for all the currently in progress stories, I'm just throwing it out, okay? And if you see any stories which is like being worked on or in progress, like say more than a week or so, figure it out why it is happening. Is it because of some bottlenecks, or is it team struggling there, or what is going on, right? So by looking at the metrics and all those things, you'll have to read the metrics and try to come out with the pattern, what is happening, and then ask questions, like meaningful questions, so that'll spark the team in coming up with answers. Hope this helps.
Yeah, Rajesh,
Yeah.
it was a good answer. Just a follow-up question. So, when
So,
you say that,
Ravi, sorry, just to add to what Ravi said, but what Rajesh said here, see, Scrum Master is not a cheerleader, okay, and that's not the definition of a Scrum Master, not part of their role. Yeah, they certainly are there to motivate the team at the right instances, but more than that, they are there to hold the team accountable for what they are supposed to be doing and what they are supposed to be doing in what way. So basically, they are guiding force behind how they are going to be coming together and self-organizing and self-managing. They certainly help team celebrate their successes as well as failures. And it might sound weird to you guys that I'm talking about celebrating their failures also, because Scrum Masters helps them understand failures needs to be celebrated as their learning points, and that has to be done. By no means Scrum Master's role is a cheerleader. Okay.
I understood. Ganesh. So, one follow-up question to Rajesh. As you said, like when you see a pattern where there is a lag, uh, uh, there is a lag in the pattern. So, if you deep dive into those things, they might the team might think that you are not empowering them. They are being their freedom is being invoked and all. So until unless they bring up those things into your Scrum calls, is it good to deep dive into their zone, which is we are not supposed to as a Scrum
Yeah,
Master?
no, that's a good question, like a good observation. So that's what I mentioned was, by looking at the pattern, you are going to ask the right questions that will make the team think. You're not going to say that, hey, why is the story like not being done for 10 days, right? What you're going to say is, hey, like this is the, like, these are the list of stories that we have, and you can say for example, you can share like you can bring a practice of, say that, hey, why don't we practice of sharing the metrics in our daily Scrum, right? So what it means is, the moment you like, and if they all agree, you share it, what happens is everyone sees the visual, and that will invoke them, like, hey, why is this story for firewall? So you are basically, your idea is to spark the thought, right?
Yeah, understood. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Let's move on to the next person, Abijit.
Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
Abijit.
Hi. Good evening to everyone. And first of all, I would like to thank the entire panel. Uh, it is really, I mean, amazing. This is the first time I'm joining any sort of LinkedIn event in live, and I'm stunned and completely awestruck by the information that is shared and the way it is shared. So thanks a lot for doing that, and thank you to all the all the members in the panel. I guess I'm the only one in the entire chat room who doesn't have any sort of certification from project management or agile or Scrum, and a lot of my questions have already been answered by thanks to previous candidates who asked the questions. They were spot on, very relevant. So I would say 90% of my questions are already answered. Uh, there is one or two questions that I have right now on the top of my mind is where I understand that certification is the first and foremost thing that someone has to do. Someone in my position would have to do. But after that, how much time does it take, to get into the role? Like, let's say for a very basic example, if I want to learn SQL, I will spend around 3 months or some time around that timeline, and then try to appear for a role. For Scrum Master, how much time does it take?
Okay. Yeah, let's ask Danesh about it, because Danesh is a certified trainer. He trains us about agile, safe, and all. So I got my safe certification from Danesh's training. So he might be the right person to answer this question. Danesh.
Yeah, thanks for this. So, Abhijit, a very pertinent question. I think many of people are having this question about certification and all. As we talked about, certification certainly helps you get to the door and be there in that queue of people who are trying to apply for that position and open that door for that opportunity. However, I would say the foundation is not the certification. Foundation is your own experience that is deeply rooted in your agile environment. And I believe Rajesh pointed it out. It is important that you work in an agile environment, irrespective of the role you play. The learnings you will have from that agile environment working will certainly help you strengthen your skill set to become a scrum master in a future time frame. Right now, do we have a very defined timeline that you do this certification and do this and you become a scrum master? I'm sorry to disappoint you all. It's not there. However, it's certainly going to be a evolutionary path where your agile experience coupled with your certification could unlock your doors to the opportunities that are available in the market as low as in 3 to 6 months time frame, with right persons supporting you, with your right network by your side, with right mentorship and support you can get. That's the time frame you are looking at to unlock the potential that is available in the market. But can we put a definitive timeline to it? Unfortunately not, because everybody's background experience is going to be different. So if you are coming in from a very traditional company where there is no agile practices are available, you will probably have a longer path. If you are coming from a organization where you have practiced agility in your day-to-day work in whatever way and form, like maybe certain organizations only do the stories or user stories, certain organizations only do certain planning, certain organizations do something, like at least you have been exposed to the agile practices, or certain organization only do technical practices. From extreme programming perspective, they will do some automation, they will try to do test first approach, they will try to do ATD or whatever, different approaches to do more in terms of being more faster to the market. So as long as you are exposed to the agile practices, XP technical practices, it makes your case stronger once you have your certification, because certification build upon the basics, and your experience will strengthen your knowledge, and with right mentorship and right support you can break into the market. But we can certainly not put a definite time frame out there. It can be there from 3 to 6 months to the 9 months also. And in my experience, I have seen people breaking into switching roles from one part to the another part as early as 3 months and as late as 9, 10 months.
Thank you, Danesh. Abijit, I believe that I might have answered your question.
Absolutely.
Let's
Thanks a lot.
yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
very much.
let's move on a bit faster because we are on time. So Amit, no, Amit,
Hi everyone, sorry.
hey, yeah.
Hi Subir, and thanks everyone. The session has been informative. So, my question is that I'm coming from a banking background, but being in Canada from last 2 3 years, these job roles are kind of kind of propelling me to at least give it a try and see what future has in store for me. So I was wondering, I find myself in at the crossroads. Is it a right choice for me now? Having 15 years of banking experience, I did my masters and computers applications way back in 2008 from a university in India. But I did not work in the IT industry, so I'm coming from a non-technical background. So I don't know who can answer my question. So, and I'm struggling with an idea to try business analyst. I have been doing those courses on LinkedIn and Udemy, and today as well I took a day off from my work, just to give it a more focus. So please tell me, is this a right choice for me? Can I really be successful if I were to, choose BA or Agile as my future career option?
Uh,
It's been
so yeah,
in a
Amit,
very challenging.
sorry to cut you off. Sorry to cut you off. I'm trying to make it a bit faster. So Amit, yeah, I'll let Rajesh answer, but I think you need a mentor actually. Okay, so
Yes,
that
yes,
would actually resolve most of your questions and issues. So those who don't know, like having a mentor actually helps you in the career. Okay, but yeah,
yes.
I'll let Rajesh answer the question. Rajesh,
Sure.
you
Yeah.
want to add?
So
Yeah.
yeah. So Amit, again, see, like Scrum Master role, as we all kind of mentioned, right? It is a very ambiguous role. Like there is a lot of ambiguity, and it is what do you call? As I said, it's kind of a political tightrope walk, right? But
Yes.
it all depends upon like how like you know what do you say, like it all depends upon your personal interest as well, right? So that plays a key role. One more thing what I want to point out is also not necessarily all your like a scrum master or your agile role has to be on the technical side as well. There are a lot of scrum master roles on the business agility side. So there your financial services knowledge may come into play. So when I say business agility, what it means is it is not a technical team doing agility, it is the business teams doing agility. How do you what do you call transform a business team into agility? So that may be a good area that you can focus on if you want to jump into this agile space.
Yes, thank you, Rajesh. As you can see that I'm still pursuing my PFP, which is personal from financial planner, and you all should be knowing it. So, as I said, it's a very tough choice I have to make. Everyone is saying IT is something which is which is where the career is. So I, I don't know. Should I be pursuing CBAP, business analyst? There are so many options, so I'm not able to. So should I give it a try? I can
So
understand what.
Amit, sorry to say. Again, as I said, you can ping Danesh or Rajesh offline,
Sure.
right?
Thank you.
Because this is a specific question to your career, so they might
Okay.
need to know
Yeah,
your background also. Okay.
of course. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks,
Rajesh,
Amit. Thanks for joining.
having
Yeah.
me.
Pablo.
Yeah, thanks a lot for making organizing this discussion. I'm going to be short because I know it's late. So I would like to know from your expertise. I don't know to whom specifically is this question, from whoever feels comfortable to answer. My background is project manager for the past few years. I've also been in both technical and business analysis sides. And I've worked for a couple of years as product owner in an agile team as well. So the thing is, may I be in a position to apply to a Scrum Master role, or is something that you would see as too daring if I haven't had specifically a Scrum Master role in the past, having had experience as in hybrid projects? That's essentially a question.
Jitendra, you want to take it?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. Like what? Can
Yeah,
you?
the thing is, I have both the functional and also the technical experience. And over the past few years, I've been working as project manager.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I have specifically worked in an agile team as well as product owner. I haven't been involved in all the ceremonies, but I've been in the planning and the product review meetings.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wanted to know if, maybe from a hiring standpoint, I would be in a position to aim to a Scrum Master role, or that would be seem like too daring, too far apart of what I've been.
No,
into.
I think if you so Scrum Master, I know it has a lot of limelight around Scrum Master, but product owner is also one of the important roles in Agile. And nowadays, I'm seeing a lot of demand even for good product owners, senior product owners, product managers. Also, those are some of the titles. So different variations of the same title coming along in the market. So I think you should follow where you feel comfortable, where you feel your expertise would be utilized. Just because there is a lot of demand for Scrum Masters shouldn't mean you should jump to become a Scrum Master. That's what I feel.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I just wanted to know if my background could be something I could aim to, but yeah, it's obviously something what I feel comfortable.
Yeah,
Thanks
so
a lot
Pablo, I would
yeah.
say knowing your own strengths and weaknesses and what you want to focus upon, and as Jitendra said, product owner is equally powerful and Rather, I would go to the extent and saying that product owner is more powerful role in an agile environment than even a scrum master, honestly, if you really ask me personally, because they are the ones who are setting the direction for the team, what to do, why to do what they are supposed to do. And it's not scrum master who is setting that direction, it's the product owner who is setting that direction, guiding the team on the business aspects of it, guiding the team on why that prioritization is important. And if your strength lies in your domain expertise and your expertise around the product space, I would say go for product owner role, Pablo.
Yeah, but I also enjoy the technical part and getting into resolution of technical issues. So I wanted to know if, from an agile standpoint, is something that you would consider as feasible given my
Oh,
experience.
yes. So product owners certainly can confer with and have discussions with the team on how part of it. So, okay, how I define it basically, there are four steps on anything you want to do in agile environment. Okay, what, why, how, when. What and why are exclusively owned by the product management. It could be product owner, product manager, or combination of those, or a BSA, BA, whatever, different roles, different organizations, but they own it. When it comes to the how, that's where it becomes more collaborative and team has a big say in it. But product owner can also share their thought process, how this can be solved, how the solution could be saved. And when is the something which is there again, if it is not driven by external dependencies, that could be driven by the team's decision in consultation with the product owner. So as a product owner also, you can contribute even on the technical direction and guidance to the team, but you are not the decision maker. If you think you want to be in the decision maker position, then neither the scrum master nor the product owner are the roles. Then you are probably looking for something which is going to be more of an SME or some sort of a hybrid role that is going to be there. And those kind of roles exist in different organizations, which are does not classified as scrum master or product owner. But as an SME, you can play those roles also in agile environment as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Danesh, for the clarification. And thanks, Jendra. So that before we go to Vinish, I just wanted to let everyone know that this session has been recorded and it will be published in YouTube. So we have the recording for all our previous sessions also. So in case you guys want some help on the resume, how to understand about the Canadian job market and all, we have these recordings in YouTube. So feel free to visit. And we have a WhatsApp group where we try to post all the jobs coming our way. It's called Get Hired in Canada. So there's a page in LinkedIn where we post the Canadian jobs, and we have a WhatsApp groups where we try to post these jobs. And we have these sessions every week, mostly Wednesdays. So feel free to join these sessions. We have technical sessions. We invite experts from every area. We have online meetup sessions in LinkedIn. And this is actually helping a lot of the people to build their professional network, to start. A lot of introverts, they are wondering how to build the connections, right? So these meetups are actually helping them get in touch with the people from the same field here in Canada. And that has been actually it's actually getting very useful for a lot of people who are working in Canada. Jitendra had to drop off, but I had to thank him because he accepted my invite and he joined the session. So let's move on to Vinish. Vinish.
Hi, Sudhi. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yep. So first thing, myself, Vinish, and thanks Sudhir and whole team for efforts and time you put in for this initiative, and appreciate it. I would keep my question very short. What would be the expectation of a Scrum Master who work with teams working on infrastructure projects? I'm asking this question because unlike development projects, these teams are not working on a sprint and they're not producing any deliverable at the end of each sprint. So just want to understand how this scope of Scrum Master change when he worked with the infrastructure project teams?
You are a bit late for that because Jitendra have been working for the infrastructure agile as an agile coach for the past 3-4 years. He would have given an exact or right answer for that. Maybe Rajesh, if you want to take it.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take it. So you're saying like having an infrastructure background and coming to a development projects, or from development project you're going to an infrastructure project? Oh, like did he?
He's asking like how the infrastructure, how the agile works in the infrastructure world.
Oh, okay. So in the infrastructure world is also like it may be slightly different way, because you may not have any a front end UI to do the demo and things like that. But whereas still you in an infrastructure, like if you're doing a cloud migration, or if you are like setting up the infrastructure, there are still what do you call outcomes that you are measured on, right? So your basic thought process and the way you work would be same, meaning the whole thing of agility is like, how can you be lean, how can you get the deliver things in smaller iterations, right? That is the whole idea of agility, right? So even in infrastructure products, what do you think is like, how do we slice the work into smaller chunks and deliver it or take it to your end customer? So an infrastructure project, your end customer would be like your ID team, or the IT business that you're working for, right? So it is basically using your agile mindset and slicing it, working in smaller iterations. So the spirit and the concept of agility still would be applicable there.
Yep. Thank you, Rajesh. And follow-up question on the ceremonies. Are we need to?
Sorry, Vinish. Sorry for that. We are already 18 minutes over time. Okay, we have like a lot of things to. I mean, we have other things to attend to at 10 o'clock. Sorry for that. Yeah, you can buzz everyone offline. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
So thanks everyone for joining, and thank you Rajesh, Danesh, and Jitendra for accepting my invite, joining for this valuable session. And really appreciate you guys joining and sharing all the information. Okay, so
Thank you, Sudhir. Really appreciate your efforts in bringing this valuable, informative sessions for the community, and happy to be part of this.
Yeah, same here. Thanks, Sudesh, and thanks for setting this up. And also, like, I'm happy to contribute to the community.
Thank you, Rajesh. Okay, so guys, thanks everyone. So this, as I said, for in case you need any further information, you can buzz any one of us, and we will have another session coming up. Mostly that will be the taxation. So see you next time. Okay, thanks everyone. Good night.
All right, thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.